Hello everybody, welcome aboard. Good to see everybody. You want to check, is anyone here vote for Collingwood? Anyone here vote for Carlton? Is there anyone here vote for Carlton? Lord, we didn't want to throw anybody out just one straight. Good on you everybody, welcome here this afternoon. Normally when I MC the book launch of a footballer, I can honestly say that generally that footballer has then officially written one more book than they've actually read. But in this occasion, it's not the case because Bucks is a well-read person and, as we all know here, a legend of our football club. And I think those people, have anyone here actually read the book? Well, I can promise you that when you do, you'll have a remarkable insight. I haven't told Nathan this yet, but I'm actually writing a bit of my column on Sunday in the Sunday Herald Sun on parts of his book and also some other things that I've noticed in the last couple of days in relation to Dermot Brereton and various people in my own life, so that's something to look forward to on Sunday, mate. But, I'm still figuring it out as we go. But most importantly, well, I might actually let you have a look at it. Mind you, you showed me the chapter about you and me, so we'll But ladies and gentlemen, I think what you'll find though is something that you want to get in a book, and that is honesty and the truth, and most importantly an insight into a person. And I think what I'll be trying to draw from my column on Sunday is an extrapolation of what Nathan has been able to do with his book, and that is people are never as obvious as they seem to be. Whether it was when Nathan was branded Fig Jam when he first came into football, or as the champion that we see and a good bloke that we see today. There are many facets to all of us. We're not all straight up and down, and dare I say it, we're not all black and white. There are multi-facets to every person's personality, and we all know that even in our own families, one person can react one way to situations within a family dynamic just as much as a brother or sister can react a completely different way. And so too does that happen not only in life and families, but in football clubs when you have 42 different people from all sorts of backgrounds. At one stage over the course of Nathan's captaincy and my presidency, we had one player who was finishing his 4th degree in economics and social sciences and a PhD, and another young kid who turned up at the club who was unable to read. And Mick Malthouse has to get them all thinking right for 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon or a Friday night or a Sunday afternoon to get themselves right. And I think Nathan, while he may not have a tertiary degree, he certainly has a degree and a master's degree in the peccadilloes of life from many and various sources, and I think he is a wealth of information. So enough of me talking about the things that maybe have come together. I'd like to now welcome the man who is the focus of this magnificent book, and that is the 6-time Copeland Trophy winner, the Brownlow medalist, the Norm Smith medalist. How many All-Australians did you get? 7.
Christian, put that down for me, please.
Why would we get anything from the All-Australian selectors? The fact that they're in there shows you probably would have got 12 in seasonally adjusted terms. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this year's Special Comments Man of the Year. Even winning trophies in the media these days, Mr. Nathan Buckley. If I could, Ben, is Ben Collins here? Where is Ben? Where's Ben? Ben, come up on the stage. Ben's the co-author of this book, and Ben wanted to stand on the side and not be interviewed, so the fact that he said that means I'm going to do it. But I'd just like to, just for the first part of the interview, let Ben step aside, because often it's the motive involved in writing a book that determines what sort of book you end up with. So, Bucks, I'll put it to you first because I know Ben approached you some years ago about this book. And we know that Royce Hart wrote a book when he was about 23 and placed himself at centre-half forward in his team of the century. Although that's a misnomer, obviously. To be actually accurate about that, he put himself at centre-half forward in a team that he would love to play in. Of course, that's the pitfalls of these things. Knights in Muddy Armour was another one that Peter Knights wrote midway through his career. People get lambasted about it, but that's the great thing about the media. They'll have a go at you for not writing a book, and they'll have a go at you for writing a book. So tell us about the motives and the genesis of this book along the way.
Well, thanks Ed. Thanks for emceeing today. There's none better, so it's great to have Ed here. Ben saw me about writing a book about, I reckon it was about 4 years ago. Might have even been even longer, but really liked the way that he'd written Jason McCartney's book, After Buckley. And the whole idea, the thing I love about that was the fact that it was done from a 360-degree perspective. Had a lot of input from people that were involved in the same scenario, talking about their recollections and their remembrances of the events that happened over there. Of course, this is very different, but I just like the concept of it not all coming from the one voice. And the fact is, over 15 years or over a lifetime, I've got my beliefs and my truths, but they're not necessarily what everyone else remembers or what everyone else sees or feels or remembers. So I was able to sort of go back, and Ben did that very well in Jason's book, and I thought if I ever did a book that I wanted to do it that way. I didn't want it to be all from me. I wanted it to involve all of the people that had been a part of my development as a person, as a footballer. So that was back then. When he came to me, I said, there's no way known I'll ever do a book though, so I'm going to give that a miss. Well, I saw there were two reasons you do a book. One is because you want to set the record straight about something in particular, that you might hold a grudge or you might have your nose out of joint and you want to set the record straight. Well, that's not a motivation for me. The other one was probably to make a bit of cash, and although that's part of it, that's never been my motivation. In the end, through the process of this book, what I was able to understand more so, the impetus for doing it was just to acknowledge the role that football has played in my life, and obviously Collingwood Football Club is a massive part of that. It's been everything in the last 15 years. So, and in the end, through that process, to be able to thank and acknowledge all the people, all the individual people that have been able to help me along my journey. So, with Ben's assistance, I think I've been able to tell a very thorough story about from where I began to where I currently am, and the fact that you're never a finished product. There's more to go, and I look forward to whatever comes on the other side of today.